It is time to play 30 Seconds of Fame. For their chance at 30 seconds of uninterrupted airtime on national television, let us meet today's players. First up is Tom Yanni. He's a story editor over at TSN and editor-in-chief of unsportsmanlike.ca. Next up is our first returning champion, Megan writes for ESPN affiliated blog The Shadow League, which is all about athletic fashion and sneakers. And finally, we have Andrew Stoughton, creator of drunkjaysfans.com, and can also be heard during baseball season on the podcast Getting Blanked over at The Score. Competitors, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to our first question. The NFL's Adrian Peterson shared his thoughts on gay marriage in a recent interview with SiriusXM NFL Radio, where he said this, quote, "I have relatives who are gay. I am not biased towards them. I still treat them the same. I love them. But again, I'm not with that." Now, Adrian Peterson is getting a ton of backlash for his anti-gay marriage comments. Does he have the right to his own opinion? What do you think, Tom?
Well, personally, I think you should be able to marry a lamppost if you want to. I don't really care. Love is love to me as far as I'm concerned, but that's just my opinion. And he's has every right to have his own opinion as well. And when you come to think of it, really, it's not like he said something crazy like everybody that is gay needs to be shipped off somewhere. Nothing crazy like that, so sure.
Time is up. Megan, what do you think?
Well, what I think really pissed people off is that he did a bait and switch. He said, oh, I have gay people in my family. I love them. They're great. But it was that but that I think really pissed people off, because it's like he's giving everything, it's like a failed compliment. It's like, that looks great on you. Covers your fat ass.
Andrew, what do you think?
Well, it's literally the definition of the difference between tolerance and acceptance. You know, he's tolerant, but he's not accepting of this. So I kind of understand. We've all seen South Park, haven't we? I think this is exactly what, if you remember Mr. Slave and Mr. Garrison, I think you'll know that that's what they were getting at. And I don't agree with the opinion, but he's allowed to have it.
All right. Our next question is this. There were mixed reviews of Major League Baseball's Memorial Day uniforms. What were the worst alternate uniforms in sports ever? I'm going to tell you mine was definitely this. Do you guys remember the Steelers throwback uniforms, the Bumblebee? Like, that is definitely mine. What are yours, Tom?
All right, during the regional tournament this year, Notre Dame wore these kind of key lime green outfits, which were just absolutely ridiculous. For a school that prides itself on tradition and history, to wear that was absolutely disgraceful to me. It kind of looked like somebody tossed in a green towel in with the white laundry, and it was really embarrassing.
They were so ugly.
It was brutal.
Megan?
Well, I think there were plenty of bad uniforms to choose from in the NCAA tournament, but I'm going to go to hockey. I'm going to go to the Dallas Stars. I don't know if anyone remembers, but they have these jerseys that had a bull's head. It looks like a female reproductive system. It has, when I'm watching a check and I'm watching Brendan Morrow check someone, I don't want to feel it in my ovaries.
Time is up. All right, Andrew.
Well, that's hard to follow, but I mean, I go back to 1999. Baseball had this ridiculous idea to have future uniforms where they predicted what the uniforms would look like in the year 2027, and it was just an absolute show. They did not look anything like anything anyone would ever want to wear. Just disgusting.
All right. So for all of you watching at home, I want to see your picks of the worst uniforms that you think ever existed. Tweet them to me at Aaliyah Jasmine. In the meantime, let's move on to our next question. This week, LeBron James said that when it comes to flopping in basketball, if it gives your team an advantage and helps you win, then, well, so be it. Much like diving in hockey, which gets players a penalty, in basketball, flopping is like totally looked down upon. Do you agree with LeBron? If it helps you win, then break the rules. What do you think, Tom?
I think when you're a small player, I understand because you can't compete physically, but LeBron James is a flopper, and he's a 6'8", 265-pound man beast that runs like a gazelle. He's quicker than a light switch. There's absolutely no reason why he should be flopping. He could stand his ground to a Mack truck, and I see him getting pushed halfway down the court by guys in the Olympics. Give me a break. It's embarrassing.
Megan?
Well, I agree. LeBron has every single cheat code available to him. But what's interesting that he said this is that Dwayne Wade is a way bigger flopper and he's his teammate. Clearly, he's trying to come to the defense of his teammate. I think it's just really shoddy. I think they need to do a better job of enforcing and working with to make sure that they actually enforce the rule.
Time is up.
Flopping is awesome. I love flopping. You know, it's part of the art of the game. And you know, you watched the Champions League last weekend, Arjen Robben, Bayern Munich and Holland. He is the biggest flopper in the world, and he came up huge on a huge stage. And it's okay. It's just all part of it. It's all part of the theatrics.
All right, guys, it's time to send one of you to the shame zone, and it's a really hard pick. And Tom, you know how much I love your blog and how much I love following you on Twitter, but I am sending you to the shame zone.
Yeah! I'm disgusted!
let's go to round 2. Why do you think that Nike took so long to cut ties with Livestrong? Megan.
Well, AJ, it's because the most important color is green, not yellow. Nike ordered their shipment all the way to fall 2013, which means, guess what? Christmas shopping. Livestrong is so much more than Lance Armstrong. So they were able to get rid of him right away while still making a ton of cash on the rest of their stock.
I actually think that's pretty much right. It's corporate thinking, exactly what we're seeing there. There's a great phrase that a camel is a horse designed by committee, and that's, I think, exactly the sort of stuff that you see at the top levels of these companies where they can't make a strong, straight decision that sort of makes sense to us, but to them is, you know, what they do.
That was good. This is a really hard round today. I am going to say, as great as you both were, Megan's holding her crown, man.
Yes!
Unfortunately, Andrew, you are going to the shame zone. My lady, you have won 30 seconds of fame on national television. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Well, what I really want to talk about is Tim Duncan's divorce, and that's only because it is an example for all these young players. You have to get a prenup. If someone who takes pictures with his wife and a bunch of dogs, all these sweet little photos, can get cheated on, anybody can. You need to learn from the big fundamental and get a prenup. Whether you're just living with someone for over a year, then you can get one, or when you're getting married. You have to protect yourself. These idiots, you can't lose your money on a girl just because she might be a cheerleader. So protect yourself.
Yeah. Megan, follow her on Twitter and go check out her blog. We will be right back.